What if the richest man in the Bible handed you a blueprint to break financial struggle forever? King Solomon, known as the Bible's billionaire, wasn't just wealthy, he was wise. In this video, we'll uncover his timeless principles for prosperity that still work today. These are not just ancient sayings, they're spiritual strategies to live in abundance, avoid poverty, and walk in purpose. Watch to the end, because what Solomon reveals could change how you think about money forever. Before Solomon became the wealthiest king in biblical history, he made a surprising choice. When God offered him anything, riches, long life, or power, Solomon asked for wisdom. This moment, found in 1 Kings chapter 3, reveals a powerful principle. True prosperity begins with the right priorities. Solomon didn't chase money, he pursued understanding. This decision pleased God so much that he gave Solomon not only wisdom, but also what he didn't ask for: riches and honor. The lesson is clear: when we seek wisdom first, wealth can follow as a byproduct. Solomon's heart posture positioned him for divine overflow. He didn't ask selfishly, he asked strategically, with a mindset ready to lead and serve. In today's terms, this teaches us to prioritize mindset over material. Financial breakthrough begins not with chasing cash, but with cultivating clarity. Wisdom helps us manage money, make better choices, and create lasting value. Solomon's story challenges us to upgrade our prayers, not just for more, but for insight to handle more wisely. So if you want to never be poor again, start where Solomon started. Ask for wisdom, pray for insight before income, vision before ventures. A humble request can unlock heavenly resources. When your heart is aligned with divine principles, you're already walking the path of abundance. Solomon's wealth didn't come by accident. It was unlocked by divine wisdom. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 13 to 16 says, "Blessed is the one who finds wisdom. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor." This paints wisdom not just as a virtue, but as a key that unlocks prosperity. Solomon knew that if he had wisdom, wealth would follow. Many today seek wealth without wisdom, and that's why riches often slip through their fingers. Solomon teaches us that wealth gained without understanding is dangerous. It fades quickly or brings sorrow. But when wisdom is the foundation, wealth becomes sustainable and meaningful. Wisdom tells you what to pursue, when to act, and how to avoid traps. This divine sequence, wisdom before wealth, reminds us to invest in learning, counsel, and discernment. Solomon studied, observed, and listened. He surrounded himself with advisors. He wrote Proverbs to pass down what he learned, showing us that wisdom is meant to be shared and multiplied. The more we grow in understanding, the more prepared we are to handle abundance. Never being poor again starts with building your life on timeless truths. When you walk in wisdom, you don't chase money, it finds you. Let wisdom be your compass, and wealth will become a consequence, not a concern. Follow the Bible's billionaire by putting wisdom first every single time. Solomon's prosperity wasn't just about gold and silver, it was about purpose. His wealth had a mission: to build God's temple, to lead a nation, and to demonstrate divine wisdom to the world. In 2 Chronicles chapter 2, Solomon declares his intent to build a house for the name of the Lord. His riches were tied to a godly vision, not personal indulgence. Purpose is the fuel that makes prosperity powerful. When you know why you want to be wealthy, you are more likely to use your wealth wisely. Solomon didn't ask for riches to live in luxury, he sought wisdom to lead well. As a result, his financial increase had direction and meaning. Prosperity without purpose leads to waste, but purpose-driven wealth leads to impact. If you want to break free from lack permanently, connect your finances to your purpose. Ask yourself, what is the mission behind your money? Who will benefit from your breakthrough? Solomon's riches were not a result of selfish ambition, but a reflection of divine alignment. He used wealth to glorify God and serve people. So the secret isn't just getting rich, it's getting clear. Clarify your purpose, and wealth becomes a tool, not a temptation. Like Solomon, let your vision shape your financial goals. Prosperity tied to purpose becomes unstoppable because it flows with heaven's blessing and eternal significance. Solomon didn't just dream of prosperity, he worked for it with diligence. In Proverbs chapter 10 verse 4, He writes, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." This principle reveals that hard work is not a worldly idea, it's a godly one. Solomon understood that dreams without discipline lead to disappointment. Solomon oversaw massive building projects, managed national trade, and established systems of order and productivity. He wasn't idle, even with divine wisdom. He partnered it with consistent action. Many people wait for financial miracles, but ignore the miracle of daily diligence. God blesses the work of your hands, not your daydreams. Diligence is the habit of showing up, even when it's hard. It's being faithful in the small tasks, knowing that consistency compounds over time. Solomon teaches us that true prosperity doesn't come overnight, but through steady and wise labor. Wealth grows in the soil of effort, watered by persistence, and guided by wisdom. If you want to never be poor again, embrace the Solomon strategy: diligence over daydreams. Get organized, stay committed, and do your work as unto the Lord. Prosperity responds to productivity. Don't just wish for more work, the wisdom God gives you, and your diligence will draw abundance to your door. Solomon gives one of his most powerful financial secrets in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This principle applies directly to money because your financial life flows from your inner life. If your heart is undisciplined, greedy, or insecure, your finances will reflect it. Wealth doesn't begin with your bank account, it begins with your beliefs. Solomon understood that the heart is the control center of life. If your heart is filled with fear, you'll hoard. If it's filled with pride, you'll overspend. But if it's filled with wisdom and peace, you'll handle money with purpose and restraint. A pure heart produces sound financial decisions. Solomon didn't just accumulate wealth. He taught others how to manage it well. He warned against envy, arrogance, and impulsiveness, issues that all begin in the heart. True financial prosperity requires inner clarity. The richest people with the poorest hearts still live in bondage. That's why Solomon urges us to clean the wellspring of our lives. If you want to never be poor again, start by guarding your heart. Watch what you allow into your mind, your habits, your influences, your emotional triggers. When your heart is secure and centered on godly principles, your financial life follows. Solomon's wisdom reveals this timeless truth. A guided heart leads to guided finances. Solomon's wisdom revealed a paradox of prosperity. Giving leads to gaining. In Proverbs chapter 11 verses 24 to 25, he writes, "One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper." This is kingdom economics, where generosity is the gateway to overflow. Solomon didn't hoard his riches. He gave abundantly to build the temple, bless his people, and honor the Lord. His giving wasn't an expense, it was an investment into divine favor. He understood that when you open your hand to give, you also open your hand to receive. Generosity breaks the cycle of scarcity and invites supernatural provision. Too often, people believe that giving leads to loss, but Solomon flips this mindset. He shows that the stingy become poor, while the generous increase. Generosity is not just about money. It's a lifestyle of open-handedness. It shows trust in God as your source, not your savings. When you give, you declare that your supply is spiritual, not limited. If you want to never be poor again, cultivate a generous spirit. Bless others, support God's work, and give without fear. Prosperity flows to those who don't let it get stuck with them. Solomon's life proves that the open hand is the hand God fills. The more you release, the more you receive, because generosity triggers God's abundance. Solomon often emphasized the influence of relationships on your life, including your financial future. In Proverbs chapter 13 verse 20, he says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Who you surround yourself with will either elevate your finances or sabotage them. Your circle shapes your success. Solomon didn't just have riches, he had counsel. He built relationships with skilled workers, advisors, and kings. He understood that wisdom isn't just internal, it's social. Prosperity often flows through networks, partnerships, and mentorships. If you're the smartest or most disciplined one in your group, your growth will eventually stall. Many people remain financially stuck because they're surrounded by small-minded, reckless, or negative individuals. Solomon teaches that wise associations bring wealth, while foolish company brings loss. Your environment either feeds your vision or fuels your failure. Relationships are spiritual bridges. Choose carefully where they lead. To never be poor again. Upgrade your circle. Connect with people who think bigger, budget better, and build wisely. Learn from mentors, seek out wisdom, and distance yourself from destructive influences. Solomon's wealth wasn't isolated, it was influenced. Surround yourself with wisdom, and prosperity will walk with you. Solomon understood the creative power of words. In Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21, he teaches, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." This means your words shape your world, including your financial reality. What you speak consistently, you start to believe, and what you believe, you begin to live. Solomon didn't just write with wisdom, he spoke it. His declarations shaped the culture of his kingdom. He knew that speaking fear brings confusion, while speaking faith invites clarity and confidence. Your financial future often follows the direction of your declarations. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds with outcomes. Many people unknowingly curse their finances with phrases like "I'll never afford that," or "money always runs out." Solomon's wisdom shows us that this kind of language invites lack. Instead, speak life, declare stewardship, favor, and abundance. Words become containers for either poverty or prosperity. Choose them with care. To never be poor again, start talking like someone who believes in God's provision. Let your words agree with God's promises, not your problems. Speak increase, discipline, wisdom, and overflow. Solomon's wealth was surrounded by wise words. Let your mouth align with the prosperity God wants to bring into your life. Solomon wasn't just wise, he was strategic. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Planning is not just a business tool, it's a spiritual principle. Solomon teaches us that prosperity doesn't happen by chance, it's built through intentional, God-guided preparation. Before building the temple, Solomon created detailed plans, secured resources, and assembled skilled laborers. He didn't rush into greatness, he planned for it. This reflects God's nature as a planner, a designer, and a wise builder. Financial freedom requires the same discipline: budgeting, saving, investing, and prioritizing. Too many people expect sudden wealth without preparing for it. But Solomon shows that planning attracts provision. A written vision, a clear goal, and consistent steps open the door to sustained success. Planning gives your money a mission and keeps you from wandering in financial confusion. If you want to never be poor again, honor God with your plans. Set financial goals, track your progress, and commit your strategy to the Lord. Planning is a form of faith that proves you're expecting God to bless your efforts. Solomon's wisdom reveals that abundance follows the prepared. Make planning your new form of prayer. Solomon closes the circle of prosperity with a foundational truth: reverence for God is the root of all wisdom and therefore all true wealth. Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." Without a deep respect for God, every other principle loses its power. Solomon didn't rise by intelligence alone, he rose by honoring the source of all wisdom. His fear of the Lord led him to make decisions that pleased God, and as a result, his life overflowed with favor and finance. Reverence isn't about fear of punishment, it's about alignment with divine order. It puts God first in every area, including money. When you fear the Lord, you handle wealth with integrity, humility, and generosity. You don't chase riches, you chase righteousness, and wealth follows. Solomon's life shows that the richest people in God's kingdom are those who keep him at the center of their plans. The fear of the Lord disciplines your decisions and protects your prosperity. To never be poor again. Cultivate a heart that honors God above all. Seek Him first, trust Him fully, and walk in obedience. Solomon's final and most vital lesson is this: wealth without worship is worthless, but worship invites wealth with purpose. The fear of the Lord is not just the beginning of wisdom, it's the foundation of lasting success. If Solomon, the Bible's billionaire, could teach us one thing, It's this wisdom from God is the master key to lifelong abundance, from guarding your heart to choosing the right friends, from generous giving to strategic planning. Every principle is a pathway to prosperity. So, which principle will you start with today? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. For more biblical financial wisdom, if this video inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear that God's way leads to lasting wealth.